All right. So this one is Lala Kent talks, quote, dark times on Vanderpump Rules, canceled spinoff, and Tom sucking the life out of Katie, plus if Randall will be discussed on season 10. So this actually answers a lot of questions about the last couple of seasons, why they were so bad, why they had all of those random new people come on, and all of that stuff, okay? So let's dive right on in. So Lala Kent looked back on her, quote, dark times on Vanderpump Rules on a recent episode of her podcast. Before dishing on the cast canceled spinoff, the relationship between Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney, and whether she'll be seen discussing ex-fiancé Randall Emmett on season 10. Lala admitted that when it came to season 7, she wasn't the best version of herself. Me, season 7, after my dad died, calling Raquel a Bambi-eyed bee, telling Billie Lee she was boring to listen to and look at, almost headbutting her, calling her a H-word. I look at that and go, what the F? Lala shared on January 25th episode of Give Them Lala. See, I told you, Lala really was trying to be the Lisa Rinna of the show. Turns out she's the Erika Jayne. You know, telling people to F off, trying to headbutt people, gaslighting people, lying on people, manipulating situations, and then being like, oh, you know what? My dad died and I was grieving. Obviously, I'm not being disrespectful to anybody genuinely grieving their parent passing. But doesn't it sound a lot like when Lisa Rinna, it's crazy how all roads are leading to Lisa Rinna. When Lisa Rinna went off the deep end and was yelling and screaming at people, and then she was like, my mom died, I'm grieving. Remember that? Very interesting how people like to use the passing of their parents as an excuse for calling people bitchs and trying to headbutt people. And, you know, if you guys remember, Billie Lee is a trans woman, and Lala said to her, you're the most boring to listen to and to look at. And was very disrespectful to Billie Lee the entire season, which I thought was really, really telling and really, really messed up. Okay, let's go. During that time, it was very, very dark and I couldn't watch it. According to Lala, she and her co-stars lost their footing toward the end of season 7. And when it came time to film season 8, a lot changed, including the cast. It was brand new faces. It just didn't make any sense, Lala recalled, clarifying that Dana fit in great. While fans didn't understand the sudden addition of Dana, Danica, Brett, and Max, Lala revealed the new cast came in as she and the other OGs were preparing to exit the series to star on a new show. Okay, I don't know why they also don't have Charlie on this. I guess they don't have Charlie on this because Charlie, for whatever reason, they kept Charlie around. I don't really know why. I don't think Charlie gives that much to the show, but I can see how they were saying Dana would be the new Stassi. Danica, I think, probably was supposed to be the new Kristen or Katie. I think Charlie was supposed to be the new Sheena. Brett and Max were supposed to be the new Tom and Tom. So I get what they're doing there. After confirming Stassi Schroeder was first to share the news, Lala said producers were trying to push a new group in because they were taking us off and giving us the spinoff. Before the pandemic hit, Stassi and Kristen Doute were fired. Side note, Stassi and Kristen Doute were fired because of their racial retaliation against Faith. So Faith is pretty much the only Black cast member on the show. They had one Black manager, but he was never truly like a part of the show. He would pop in maybe once every 3 seasons just to like talk to Lisa. But she was the only one who really interacted with the group. And they were just so mad at her for sleeping with Jax. Mind you, Jax has literally slept with every single person on that set about 5 times, including Kristen and Stassi. But yet, for when Faith did it, oh no, we can't believe Faith. We can't believe Faith would do this, blah, 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 blah. And what they did was they called the LAPD on her. So like I said, Faith is Black. and there was a bolo out, like a be on the lookout for a Black woman who had been, I think she was like drugging elderly patients and like stealing from them. And they called the LAPD and said, oh, we think it's Faith. And thank goodness the LAPD was like, you girls are crazy. And they didn't take it seriously. And this was all around, and this came out during the whole Breonna Taylor time, a Black woman literally just sleeping in her own bed. And then the police come in, and we all know what unfortunately happened to her. So this was right during that time. Okay. So that's why they got fired. If you're, you got to tell it all. So then Stassi had also had other situations. Like she wore this outfit and she posted it and she said that she looked, and I mean, she actually said this, quote, Nazi chic. That's what she said. She's made other very inappropriate comments about the Black community, about the trans community, all of that. She's been very, very, very ignorant. That's why her podcast got canceled. I think she self-publishes it now, but she used to have a big podcast deal. But they dropped her. All of that. Kristen obviously got fired too because Kristen was an idiot and went right along with it and was with her calling the LAPD on Faith. Now, Brittany and Jax, they say they confirmed their own exits, aka I think Bravo was like, you can say you either leave or we're going to fire you. Because Jax was sending monkey emojis, and I don't know if it was monkey emojis. No, what Jax was doing was he was beefing with some other Bravo celebrity who I believe was dating a Black man, and he was talking about the Black man's nose like an ape or something like that. That's the essence of what he did. He was doing something where he was talking about somebody's boyfriend or something like that who was Black and making like either like ape jokes or monkey jokes or his big nose jokes, like something like that. And that came out. So they had to exit stage right. But let's keep going. The show that we were going to start filming was completely squashed. Obviously, if we're going to fire you from one show for racism, we can't then turn around and give you a spinoff. But that was the reason for all these new faces. It's because they were introducing an entire new Vanderpump Rules and taking us out of it, Lala explained, adding that the viewers should have seen the aftermath of the firings. No, they shouldn't have. I'm going to stop it right here. I've always said this. I am so sick of these co-stars and other people being like, oh, don't fire them. Don't do cancel culture. Let's watch their journey to learning. Let's watch their journey to figuring it out. No, I don't need to watch Stassi, Kristen, Jax, and Brittany unlearn racism. I personally don't need to watch that. They can figure it out on their own. If at this point in your life you don't understand that racism is evil and wrong, I don't know what the hell to tell you, and I don't want to see your journey. I don't want to see your teachable moment on my screen. Miss me with that. What I actually would have loved to have seen was Faith's journey, because she was the actual victim in this situation. I actually thought it would have been brilliant if Bravo would have brought Faith back, let her talk about what it felt like to be the only Black person on an entirely white cast, and then have those white cast members call the police on you simply because you're Black and female, because that was the only similarity she had with this person that the bolo was out about. What was her journey to healing from that? Because that's a pretty traumatic experience. I would have loved if we could have saw Faith's journey. I don't give a damn about Stassi, Kristen, Jax, and Brittany. They can all jump off a cliff and go all the way down to hell. I don't want to see that. So miss me with this crap. I would have loved for I think it would have been a much more teachable moment for everyone to see what it felt like for Faith. That would have been the teachable moment. That would show people what it feels like to have microaggressions, what it feels like to experience racism. That is the teachable moment. So people can actually have a concrete understanding of what that does to a person. But I don't want to see Stassi or any of these other chicks miss me with that. Okay? Let's keep going. And after sharing that she and her co-stars nabbed a 9th season by the skin of their teeth, she told listeners that season 10 will be more authentic. I actually agree with that. I think the premiere has been really good. And from all of the clips, I hope it's not a bait and switch. I think this season's going to be really good. And I think it's going to be really good for a couple of reasons. One, I think other than Charlie and Allie, who both, I don't know why they're there. Allie creeps me out, but Charlie just bores me. Other than that, I do think each person has like a pretty interesting storyline or personality on their own. Unlike some of the other shows we've been watching where it's just been one note. We're gonna target one husband. We're gonna target one housewife. We're gonna talk about one storyline for the entire season, and everybody's wrapped up in one thing. Where I do think with Vanderpump Rules, and also with the Real Housewives of Miami, I think that's another reason why Miami is so good, is because there's multiple storylines that are interesting that's going on, and it's not just one note, one attack for the entire season. So I think it's going to be a really good show. And then I also think it's good because I think that we are going to see changes. We're going to see people going through divorce, people going through finding themselves, people going through opening in a business, nearly going bankrupt, all of that stuff. So I do think it's going to be a good season. I do. I agree with that. Okay. Let's keep going. Dun, 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 dun. We can't show us working in a restaurant forever. It doesn't make any sense. We don't work there. We don't have to work there. But I think for it to make sense and for you to follow someone's journey, you've got to understand why. Why are they able to afford these houses, she stated. I think season 10, you're going to see all of it. It's going to take you back to old throwback Vanderpump Rules. You got one person, two people that actually live in a house. Everything else is apartment living again. As Pump Rules fans well know, both Tom and Katie moved into new apartments after selling their $2.5 million home in Valley Village amid their 2022 divorce. And when their split was mentioned on her podcast, Lala's guest, Laura Marie, accused Tom of sucking the life out of Katie, and Lala agreed. Right, I'm excited for people to see Katie this season because you do get to see her not have to play a mom to her husband, Lala stated. There was something when she decided, I'm doing this, I'm moving on in my life. Something changed in her, something changed in her face. I hope so. Because Katie, this is the thing. Tom Schwartz kind of is a sucky person, to be honest. And I agree with Katie. He never respected her. He never really put her first. He never prioritized her. He always put Tom Sandoval first. To be honest, their friendship trumped, Tom and Tom's friendship has trumped everything else in their lives up until the restaurant when we talk about their little ups and downs, but that's because now they're business partners. But I want to see a lighter Katie. I want to see a more authentic Katie, like seeing who Katie actually is, because we've actually only ever seen Katie in relationship with Tom. They have been together for 12 years and I think married for 5. So we've really only seen them in relationship with each other. So I think it would be interesting to see, what is Katie like single? What is Katie like when she's not tequila Katie or worried about Tom cheating on her? So that's actually a pretty good insight there. I'm with it. Okay, let's keep going. Dun, 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 dun. Also on her show, Lala confirmed that while she did address her drama with Randall, who was rumored to be facing an FBI investigation over alleged child exploitation at the end of last year, which he denied while filming season 10, she's not sure what will make the cut. I feel like I talked about it a lot, but there's a lot of times during filming where I feel like I've spoken about things and it usually ends up on the chopping block. Like maybe it's too heavy for Vanderpump Rules, she reasoned. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into Randall's FBI. You know me with FBI. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive into that, just all of the allegations. He's been sued for about $25 million at this point. He's been called the little Harvey Weinstein of Hollywood. There's been accusations about inappropriateness with children. There's a lot. There is a lot. There's the casting couch allegations. So I'm going to do a deep dive into that because I think that's really interesting. And I actually have a personal story related to Randall and casting that I'll share in that video. Maybe I'll share it. I'll think about it. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think. And stick around, Candy Canes. I'm going to take some of your Candy Cane questions and comments. We have a couple more stories to get through, and then I will take your questions and comments. But before I do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a key is always better with community. Check out our description box down below and join our newsletter. It is 100% free. Check out everything else and treat yourself. So with that, let's dive in.